And then Hikaru Nakamura. It's a big day for you. Hikaru Nakamura is coming up in the next match. What can we expect from that one?
I don't know. I haven't thought too much about it yet, but I mean, I guess he won a fairly convincing match now, so at least he's showing some signs of improvement.
Thank you for joining us, Magnus. Good luck in the next match.
Thank you.
All right, Magnus Carlsen, getting ready.
Down the protection of that pawn and go and win it.
Moral, ethical decision here. Do you just try and play quick moves, flag the opponent, or do you actually slow down and try to find objectively the best moves? Because 12 seconds for Nakamura, physically so tough. And queen's off the board now.
Queen's off the board. Hikaru needs only a draw somehow, but he needs a big miracle right now to convert this into a draw. At least he can feel safe that he's not getting checkmated anytime soon.
But he's going to lose his rook pawn. That's on a dark square. Only one side is a dark square bishop. And here it goes. Magnus breaks that little pawn chain there, steals the rook pawn. So now he'll have passed pawns on opposite sides of the board. That's going to be too much for the black's pieces to deal with.
And 4 seconds for Hikaru. He has to make a move. Whoa.
Magnus is playing surprisingly slowly, but Hikaru...
See, look at that speed.
He's trying to pre-move, but he's running out of time.
There's no mouse.
There's no mouse, and OK, Hikaru resigns.
Handshakes, and Magnus Carlsen does it.
At the moment, everyone is waiting for Armageddon bids between Hikaru and Magnus. You guys, turn your boards. Let's see it. Magnus. Oh, 15 minutes. I guess that means you win it. 9 minutes, 40 seconds. What's your reaction, Hikaru?
Well, it's funny because I actually thought about bidding 15 minutes just to get white in between these two games. But yeah, it's what it is. You just play the game.
Can you reveal your tactics with bidding 15 minutes, Magnus?
Yeah, I wanted to play white, but I thought he would be a little bit lower. So I mean, knowing that I could have bid 9.39 and won, not so happy with that, but that's okay.
Well, you guys go prepare. Thank you for placing your bids here. Back to you.
From promoting to a queen. This would have been deadly. Let's catch up with the current position. Queen's still on the board here, of course, but look at this pawn on a2. It will decide the game before too long. White still dancing around without any purpose as Magnus tries to land the killer blow.
And the rook comes up just to protect everything. All of Magnus's pieces are doing something here. And now files are opening in front of Fabi's king. So he stole a pawn, but he opened a file. So the F file is open, the G file as well. And maybe this knight on E7 can go, queen B1 instead.
That is stunning.
Take my queen and give me a new one, please.
And on the way, give your rook as well. And Fabi panicking there, doesn't make his move in time. He just gives up, he resigns. What happened there? Did he run out of time?
It looks like his clock is on 0, Tanya. He ran out of time, but it was a lost position anyway.
Busted for Fabi. Magnus Carlsen. He plays, he wins. And there he takes his match against the world #2 without needing an Armageddon.
What a game.
I don't think we're quite done.
Okay, what do you got?
Because, you know, one of the reasons why I get here early sometimes is that I really like...
Oh, you like hearing the predictions?
I like hearing the predictions.
Okay.
And you guys had some interesting ones today.
So, appreciate that.
Thank
I did
you.
take
Thank
Fabi
you.
against you.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I took you against...
And you bet against me twice, right?
Yeah, it's just it's content.
Thank you.
You know, right?
No.
It's content.
Well,
No,
what are you gonna do?
but I mean,
I
you also
understand.
have to like.
I understand.
You know what I mean? Right?
It's definitely hard to pick you every time.
I
You
don't,
know,
I don't
every
take
time,
offense,
right?
but I notice it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Okay, well, you know, we might as well dive into it then. I'm glad you
Right.
brought it up because we've already chatted about it. Obviously, there was the interaction with Alireza. He didn't
didn't
like
it
the
so much.
prediction. I think most of the players are okay with it. I think we will continue to do it, but maybe try to get it done earlier so it doesn't feel like it's right before the game. What do you think?
If it's up to me, do it as the players are hitting. I think that's
You like it.
very
You
good
like
concept.
that?
Okay, well, that holds up. Our last matchup to predict, Caruana against Abdusaturov.
Definitely gotta go with Fabi there. Big Fabi. Gotta go with Fobs.
Yep, I will agree. Fabiano Caruana.
Okay.
It's content, Alireza. It's content. We'll just throw.
I feel so bad.
What? I'm sorry about that. We'll talk about it. All right. Last matchup we have here is Abdusaturov Caruana. Who'd you take?
Fabi.
I think I also took Fabi. There you go. That's what we got. We got the games, and they're ready to start. We're going to throw back to the studio. And with it, we have Oslo waiting. We have the studio ready to take the games away. Let the content roll. Unfortunately, it might be a tough day for Perugia if that holds up. Our last matchup to predict, Caruana against Abdusaturov?
Definitely gotta go with Fabi there. Big Fabi. Gotta go with Fabs.
Yep, I will agree. Fabiano Caruana.
Okay.
It's content, Alireza. It's content. We'll just
I feel so bad.
What? I'm sorry about that. We'll talk about it. All right. Last matchup we have here is Abdusaturov Caruana. Who'd you take?
Fabi.
I think I also took Fabi. There you go. That's what we got. We got the games, and they're ready to start. We're going to throw back to the studio. And with it, we have Oslo waiting. We have the studio ready to take the games away. Let the content roll. Let the commentary go. Tanya and the guys, take it away.
An eye at the square in front of the White King.
The white
And it's blocked.
Yeah, blocks it out. Again, dominance on the 7th rank and blunder from Fallujah as he allows... Okay, I was going to say a queen check, but the white rook comes in, threatening to eliminate the black knight. The black knight, once it's taken, this will end in checkmate.
Wow, a check, and now the knight is going to be captured. This is going to be a mate on the 7th rank. Hikaru Nakamura escapes.
Oh, he turned it on just at the right moment. The black queen sacrifices herself. She drops off the board, but white has a decisive advantage now. Queen and knight will beat 2 rooks.
Wow. And that knight is going to jump to h5, threatening a mate as well on g7. Hikaru Nakamura with a big turnaround, about to take the lead in his match.
What a tactical flurry that was. Nakamura really upping the pace, turning on the style. And yeah, this is a decisive material advantage. You're also landing potentially a checkmating attack. And we see a handshake.
That is resigns by Alireza. Hikaru Nakamura relieved after his first win. He takes the lead in his match against Alireza.
Much shelter. So check, 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 check. Where is that king running to?
And if you trade rooks too far away from those queenside pawns, then black will happily pick up the a3 pawn.
Oh, he's driving the king forward, but the king can hide in front of its own rook here. Okay, it keeps marching up the board, and the white rook will zoom behind to block it on f4.
But it's almost checkmate. That second rook, the black rook in the corner, when that slides over to give a check, only that white rook on the h4 square can block that check. Otherwise, it would be mate.
The black king almost checkmated as well. The black king barely with any squares. Look at it getting chased back now. This is surely winning. Fabiano, he's blundered. He's allowing a rook trade, even checkmate, and game over.
Oh my God, that was a mate at the very end. What a game. What a piece play there by both Nordebek and Fabiano Caruana. But Nordebek comes back on top, takes that endgame. Incredible resistance, but Nordebek. Incredible power play by him as well.
Persistence trumped resistance. And here it goes. Magnus breaks that little pawn chain there, steals the rook pawn. So now he'll have pass pawns on opposite sides of the board. That's going to be too much for the black's pieces to deal with.
And 4 seconds for Hikaru. He has to make a move. Whoa.
Magnus is playing surprisingly slowly, but Hikaru...
See, look at that speed.
He's trying to pre-move, but he's running out of time.
There's no mouse.
There's no mouse, and okay, Hikaru resigns.
Handshakes, and Magnus Carlsen does it, takes it in the Armageddon. Wow, some fantastic technique there by Magnus. He was the one who surprised Magnus early on in the opening. What is the current position, David?
Well, first of all, I'm looking at Magnus's pieces, and nearly none of them have crossed his first rank. It looks like Fischer random chess.
Ooh.
And wow, tactics from Hikaru. Not winning, nothing too spectacular. Just a double attack on the white queen. White now has to move Her Majesty there. Black's rook on the d-file attacking the white queen. Black's knight attacking the queen. And I think the idea from Hikaru is just very simply to trade off white's light squared bishop. Ooh, the board tested us, teased us there. The queen did land on a safe square on f3. And knight takes bishop would guide the game towards equality. Just too sterile here. Total symmetry.
I typically don't like calling a game a draw. You say level, even, just one of those words. This looks very, very drawish. There are only 5 pawns per side, equal material, no weaknesses to speak of. So Magnus, he looks displeased. I mean, it was a shady...
Will we see some more mind games there then?
A fine string of moves just to keep the advantage. Otherwise, we may see equality.
Yeah, we see the evaluation bar slightly on white's side, but nothing significant. And equality will be the name of the game if white isn't energetic enough. And I think he's relying on surprise value. Hikaru Nakamura again getting up for the second time within the first minute of this game, this clash. Wow, impressive stuff. He has landed the first psychological blow against Magnus.
It does look like Hikaru Nakamura has managed to get that surprise in as Magnus slows down and then retreats with the knight, continues to put pressure on the queen. Traditional chess wisdom, don't get your queen out early on in the game because it can be pursued by the pieces, allowing them to develop to the right squares. And we can also see Magnus now, he has to decide where to take out that light squared bishop. And that's the next move that is coming up.
Yep, he puts a pawn on e4. What could be more natural? We heard that quiz with Danny and Hikaru about Magnus. He likes to put a pawn on e4 and move one. He forgot to do it. So
He is looking good today. There he is in the yellow shirt, mixing up the style.
Get him.
You know, it's funny. Magnus even mentioned Alireza in his post-game interview that despite losing that Armageddon battle to Fabi, he felt like Alireza might have played some of the best chess in day one. So we'll see if he can continue.
this black king is stranded in no man's land. It can never now castle on the king side. That would be illegal. Castling queen side as well, fraught with danger, especially once the A file opens up. So I love this last move, keeping his options open. Maxime, well, 5 minutes now. How does he defend? He can plant a knight on a nice square, but one good piece is not enough. Rook to G8. Wow, just stopping bishop to G7, and Denis immediately just drops back. Big threat on the board, and knight jumping into D6 on the cards as well. This looks almost terminal now for black.
Deeply unpleasant. As you're saying, numerous threats with every single turn played. I don't even care if the evaluation bar is going down slightly. What is Maxime's plan? I don't see an easy one. Taking the knight on e4, that looks terrible. The bishop will replace the knight, attack the rook in the corner. That is probably just losing on the spot. So what Maxime can accomplish here is unclear. He's only on move 20. He's about to get 5 minutes left. He pushes his h-pawn, but knight d6 check, as you mentioned, David, that looks very appealing. You don't need to do it, but you get the bishop pair and you start opening up.